Hi Carol.
Hello, how are you?
Today I'm interviewing a friend of mine. Her name is Carol, and she is a Sydneysider, but a different type. Carol, can you tell my students why I'm calling you a Sydneysider, but not quite so?
Well, I live half of the time in the United States right now, and the other half of the time I live in Sydney. So I have a house here and a job here and connections here and a tax file number and an ABN, but I also have another job in the United States, so I'm splitting my work life between two places.
And how is that?
It's complicated. Yeah, no, it's quite complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated with paperwork and taxes and visas and
Must be, yeah.
and property and time.
In a way, it has a lot of advantages, I suppose, because your life is really rich.
Well, you certainly have opportunities. What you can't find here, you can find there, and what you can't find there, you can find here.
If you want to escape the winter there, you can come here.
Yeah.
Listen, my students are going to be seeing photos or video of your work. You are a choreographer, dancer. Can you explain a bit what you do?
Okay. I've been a modern dancer since I was young. I started dancing at 6. Now, 40 years later, I'm still working in the field. So part of what I do is I teach, but I also create dance works that are shown in concert settings, like when you go to the ballet, each one of those dance pieces, somebody made it. And it took hours and hours and hours of rehearsal, and everybody was very involved in this creative process with the composer and the lighting designer and the costume person and the dancers and the choreographer. So that's part of what I do. I'm also a performer, so for instance, some of the work you're seeing is a piece that I made for myself and a partner. So I haven't taught this piece to anyone else, it's just the two of us. We're the only ones who have ever done it, and probably will be the only ones who ever do it, because it would be a very hard thing to teach to other people.
When you're doing something like that, how do you work? Do you have a concept and then create the moves, or a combination?
It depends. A lot of people work from a concept or work from a visual. So they might say, okay, I really think this is going to be all red and I want really strong visuals, and then you make movement that suits those strong visuals. Or you can work from a poem or a text or a piece of music. You can work from anything. Your inspiration could just be that today is a beautiful day, so today I'm going to make a beautiful day sort of dance, or gosh, it's been raining for weeks, somehow I can't make anything happy. Let's just make something not happy. This dance, however, started because my partner and I just went into the studio to play because neither of us had ever really pitted our weight against each other.
Is he another dancer, choreographer?
No, he's actually a student. He's a student of mine. He's a beginner, hadn't been dancing for long, he was graduating, and we'd exchange things in class. You know, as you do, you have a different partner each day, and so you try some things out, but we'd never just gone into the studio to see what we could make together. And so this one day we went into the studio and just started playing with weight. How much weight could I give? How much weight could he give? Because he's 10 feet tall and weighs a lot. So there were some logistics of, can I actually carry you? Because he's quite large. And of course,
you did?
And I did. And of course he can carry me because he can. But probably within 4 hours we had the dance sketched out. It just happened. We were warming up, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, that was a really cool thing. What would happen if we looked at that moment and then developed it this way or that way? And before we knew it, we pretty much had the structure for the dance in about 4 hours.
You just remember it, or did you take notes?
No.
Or drawings? How do you work?
I remembered it. We remembered it. Yeah. Well, we went back in the next day, and so in reconstructing, well, you do it a lot of times. So if you think you've got something, you repeat it a lot. So you sort of get a muscle memory of it.
I've never heard that.
Muscle memory?
Yeah.
Dancers use it. Biologists tend to think it isn't real.
I know that the rhythm and the music helps a lot for your movements to be remembered.
Well, and athletes, it's when athletes drill over and over and over again so that their body learns a pattern, a set of patterns.
That's another thing I wanted to ask. To be an accomplished dancer, you have to work hard, like practice a lot.
You practice a lot. Dancers are notorious not cross trainers, and it's a bad habit. We should cross train. Most athletes cross train, and they have a whole strengthening, stretching regime that works really well for whatever it is, if they need bulk or mass or whatever. And dancers have sort of a mythology of, oh no, we'll just dance.
Because I felt looking at modern dance, the way you dance, it's very different to when you're watching ballet, say.
Right.
And modern dance, sort of, to me, it feels as if you've done yoga, Pilates, stretches, and it's more athletic.
The ballet dancers are the ones that are really doing the yoga and the Pilates and the stretches, because they're far more flexible than I am. Certainly, there are modern dancers that are flexible. But I would say that I'm very strong, and all of my strength is from dancing. So I don't go and lift weights.
You don't need to.
I just dance, and I use my own weight. And since we do a lot of work on the floor and I catch people, I'm actually working with body weight. But ideally I'd be working out though, so that I could make sure that I've covered all areas, because it's a little irregular just building it as you go. But there's not enough time to do everything in the world, and so it keeps the injury level down. So you do find with working with somebody who's as large as this, or if I do a lot of partnering for a long time, my shoulders start to get sore and my neck goes out, and the things that happen when you do high impact sport of any sort. So,
well, it's been great talking to you, and I hope my students will find it really interesting, because we've never been able to interview anyone with such an interesting job as yours.
Well, I have to say, it's been a wonderful thing. I've been dancing now for 40 years, and to be able to do something that I love for that long and still love it is really quite a treat.
So for anyone who wants, because my students are starting their life here in Australia, many of them, so I would say you're a good example. If you like something, persevere.
Well, and this young man that I'm dancing with started dancing at 18 years old.
Which is amazing.
Which is quite old. A lot of men actually start dancing at university. Women start earlier, there's more competition.
Well, thank you very much, Carol.
Okay, thank you.